it's very ridiculous because the content he wrote is like he's scolding to other players who rated us 1 stars.
Hello, welcome back again to Press Start How to Become a Game Developers. My name is Adam Ardisasmita, CEO of Asosiasi and Vice President of Indonesia Game Association or AGI. I'm going to be your host for today's episode. And as usual, in this podcast, we're going to talk about how to work in the game industry. And we're going to invite people who already into the game industry to share their journey, their experience, and their role so you can learn and maybe give you some inspiration also to jump into the game industry. So stay tuned because this podcast will have new episode every Monday. So this is already in season 3. So please stay tuned every Monday. And also this podcast is brought to you by Goethe-Institut Jakarta and Indonesia Game Association. All right, so today we have a very special guest that I think have a interesting journey in their career, and they're working with a lot of unique titles on their companies. So I think it's going to be fun to learn about what they're doing. So let me introduce you to Yun. Hi.
Hi.
Hello, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you.
Great, great. By the way, where are you based from?
Well, I'm from Taiwan, and I'm now working at a global indie game,
Hmm.
uh, global indie game publisher, and called
Hmm.
Doctrine. You can see
Uh,
that as my
the
background.
background.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
Awesome, awesome. And now your role is a as
Oh,
community director,
yeah, and a community manager.
a
Yeah,
community
just
manager.
doing some community stuff.
Mm, awesome, awesome. Um, Usually, what is your day-to-day activity as a community manager?
Okay, so well, although I am a community manager, but I'm
Hmm.
still doing some marketing things because I
Ah.
actually do some of the marketing things before I joined Doctrine. Yeah, and
Hmm. Hmm.
also yeah, so for example, like first of all, I will start to manage our Discord every day at the very beginning of my work. And
Hmm.
then I will start to plan that because we're now managing TikTok and Twitter. So I
Oh.
will like at the first like at Monday on Monday I will like
Mm,
plan what content am I going to post in this
mm,
whole week, and also review the results uh, of the post that I posted last week. Like,
mhm.
is this post is very good, or is the target audience is correct, or something like that. I need to analyze them and review them, and after that, I'll start to make all the contents for this week. Yeah, yeah,
Ah,
that's my job. Yeah.
I see. Wow, that's interesting. So we're gonna deep dive into like your usual activity, like the tools that you use, the skill set that you're using, the challenge uh, in your work. But before doing any of that, let's start with usually we have a trivial question to all of our guests to know more about you, basically. So don't worry, there is no right or wrong. It's not a quiz.
Okay.
There's no leaderboard, and we're not gonna judge you from your answer. It's just a casual question for you. All right. The first question, Yun, do you remember the first time you play video games? What games did you play?
Oh, okay.
Mm.
Well, to be honest, I'm not really like a hardcore gamer at the very first time because my parent actually avoid me to play video games when I was small.
Oh.
Yeah, and so my very first game I think I guess is Pokemon on Nintendo DS. It's like Pokemon Pure and Diamond, I think. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
Wow,
because
that's interesting.
yeah,
Your parents avoid you to play games. Now you're working in the game industry.
yeah, it's like I actually like to daydreaming when I was small, and
Hmm?
I really like to daydream a whole world and the fantasies. So although my parents avoid me to play games, but I really like the uh atmosphere of the
Mm,
games. Like I can like access to the another world, and that's the big reason why now joining the game industry.
I see. I see.
Yeah.
When you first play Pokemon on Nintendo DS, is it when you already uh, adult and have your own money and you buy Nintendo DS, or this is something that finally your parents decide to give it to you, or you played on your friends, or
Okay, so I think it was when I was in elementary school, and my
mm,
cousin has Nintendo, not
mhm.
Nintendo DS, and I'm like very fond of, and I like it very much. And also one of my best friends in elementary school, her mother is a hardcore gamer,
Oh,
my friend also likes to play games very much. She likes to play dating sim game when she was in elementary school.
all right.
Nintendo DS has different kind of colors, and one day she just brought her pink Nintendo DS to school, and I like it very much. I like the design of the console, and also the game is looks very interesting. And because also my cousin also has Nintendo DS. So I begged my mom like I really want to yeah, I really want to have this console. And my mom like, okay, you can't buy it, but you can only use your money to buy it.
All
And I'm
right.
like, yeah, I spend a lot of time to get all the money and to buy the game console. The gaming time but it's also very strict that I can't play the game like every time. I only can play the game when I was in my grandma's house, and
Oh,
I'm usually like one 2 or 3 months, like like a time like when I went to my grandma's house
mm,
and later I need to wait for 2 or 3 months and to play the game next time. And I'm like, yeah,
ah, oh my god.
yeah,
Wow, that's such a challenging way to play games, right?
yeah.
But all right. So that's the first question that you play. Your first game is Pokemon and on Nintendo DS. But do you consider yourself as a fans of Pokemon franchise? Like you play all of the title from Pokemon.
Um, Well, I don't think me as a very big hardcore Pokemon fan because
Mm,
I only started to play Pokemon from like Pearl and Diamond, and yeah, and I think the oh yeah. Recently, I started to play Black and White because my friend told me the
uh,
White story is very good. They recommend me to play it, and I remember the previous title
mm,
from Black and White is Gold and Silver. I'm not really sure in English because I
mm, mm.
usually talk it in Mandarin, and
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't play that. But after Black and White is like X and Y, I remember. Yeah,
Ah,
and from X and Y, I started to play all the titles. Yeah,
oh. Did you also play
although
the Arceus one? The latest
I play
Pokemon Legend Arceus?
I play Y, I remember.
Oh.
Because I like the deer style.
I see, I see, I see.
Yeah.
All right. So, all right, that's interesting. Now, jump to the next question. If the first one is the first game that you play, what is the last game that you play before this podcast session?
Wait a second. Yeah, I recently played Hades.
Hades.
Yeah. I tried to break my record because
Oh,
yeah, it's a roguelike game, and
yes.
I always stuck at the second level, and yeah, and now I'm trying to break my like challenging me to go to a third level, and yeah, I done it.
Nice, nice, nice. I think
Yeah.
that's a really fun game to play, Hades. And the studios behind also create a lot of interesting title before, like Bastion and something like that.
Yeah, I also play Transistor. It's really great.
Transistor. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
especially their art and the music. That is totally a
Yeah,
masterpiece.
masterpiece. Piece of art. Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Next question. Beside playing a video game, what do you do for like entertaining yourself or another hobbies that you have?
You mean my other hobbies?
Yes, beside playing
Uh,
games. Like
Besides playing games? Well, actually, I like to go out and hiking.
ah.
I like nature very much. So I know some of most of the gamers, most of them,
Live
that's
inside
not
a cave.
yeah. Well, like, but yeah, I'm actually like that. I actually like to go outside and touch some grass.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
and
yeah, important.
also, yeah, and also my job is community manager, but
Hmm?
I always like wanted to create something. So I'm also like to do some drawings when I
Ah,
was, yeah.
interesting. So
Mm.
you're an artist too, right? You
No, I'm
draw.
just
Oh,
a
no.
newbie. I'm learning right now.
All right, awesome. All right, I think this is my last trivial question. What is your dream job as a kid? Do you remember, like when you're a kid? Mm.
You mean dream position?
Dream job, like I want to be an astronaut, or I want to be a doctor, and I want to be something that you imagined before when you were a child.
Ah, well, I like airplane. I like transportation very much. So I before I wanted to be a like in a game industry, I
Mm.
really wanted to get into airline industry,
Uh,
but not like a flight attendant. Like I really like to, there's a job that you need to control all the airplane traffic. Yeah, you
Yep.
need to be in a tower and you need to talk all to all flights that how to where you need to go, and I like that job very much. But
Oh.
yeah, but well, unfortunately, I'm I have lack of concentration, so I think yeah, so I gave up.
That's a
Yeah,
wise decision.
yeah. Or I was like, oh, maybe I was in jail right now.
All right. Thank you, Yun, for all of the answer. I think it's gonna really, really help all of the listeners to know you more, what you like and what you dream on. And we started with the I think the main question for today, the main discussion is about your career in the game industry, and a lot of audience maybe they are curious about what are the job available, how somebody get into game industry at the first time. So maybe my first question will be, do you remember when was the first time that you consider like game industry as a career, like all right, now I want to work in the game industry. When was it, and what was the trigger for that?
Um, well, there are two important games in my life that I really consider to join game industry, and one of them is I think most of the gamers know it's called Death Stranding. Yeah,
Mm,
yeah, the Death Stranding atmosphere because as I said, I'm not really a hardcore gamer, so well, as me, I like games, but but I will like more focus on game story, game atmosphere, and game art, something like that. Yeah. So one of the game that I really like is the Stranding, and really gave me the vibes of it. So that is and when I played the game, and I was like, oh, maybe one if one day I can go to join Hideo Kojima's studio, that will be very great. Yeah, that
Yep.
is one of them. But actually, this is my second thought. My very first thought is when I was in high school, and I secretly bought PS Vita, and my parents didn't know about that because my parents don't like me to play video games, and I bought it, and I played one of the game that was very famous in PS Vita. It's called Freedom Wars. It is kind of if anyone has known Attack of Titans, the
Mm.
manga, you can just think their gameplay is like Attack of Titans, but in
Oh.
a cyberpunk or utopia ways of that. Yeah, you need to like fly around, and you need to save people that has been captured in a very big machines, like they're like titans. Yeah, and their topics is like when you was born in that world,
Mhm.
and you have sentence like crimes like prison sentence like
Mhm. Mhm.
1 million years.
What?
And yeah, 1 million years, because they want to force you to work. So if you don't
Uh.
want to be present like in your whole life, you need to work, you need to save people, and you need to help your city to gain resources. And if you
Mhm.
done all of them, you can start to decrease your sentences. Yeah, yeah. Also, the story is sucks, but I really need to say the story is so sucks. I'm very disappointed at the very end, but the game design and the game world
Mm.
atmosphere is really, I really like it, and that is the very first thought that I was like, oh, maybe I can started to try to create a imaginary world in game industry. Yeah.
See. And what was the first job that you land in the game industry?
Okay. So I was work. Recently there's a game called Opus Star of this Song of Star Songs. It recently has been announced in Nintendo Direct.
Mm.
I was work in there as an intern or as a part time job. Yeah, like before I went to the industry, before I went to that studio, it's called Sigono. Before I went to Sigono, I actually attend lots of indie game industry, indie game event in Taiwan. And one day, Sigono just post that, oh, they want to recruit some assistant, but
Mhm.
not in a game, but not those game industries, more like company assistant or something like that. And I
Mhm.
was like, oh, maybe if I really want to go into the game industry, maybe
Mhm.
I can try to join a game studio first. So I recruit. So I try to join it. Like I write the emails, and later they are like, "Oh, congratulations! You are now one of our members, but you are not going to be the assistant." I'm
Huh?
like, "What? So what am I going to do?" And they're like, "So we just checked your skills, and we're thinking that maybe you can be our customer service." And
Mm.
like a community newbies, like you need to communicate with our fans, and also customer service. And I was like, oh, okay, well, that is cool. So I started to do this job.
I
Yeah.
see. But what was your background? I mean, did you took like major in communication or something like that? So they notice you that, oh, your skill will be more fit in this position.
I think the one of the reason is I was majoring English when I was in university, and they
Ah.
need to. and because they started to have some not Mandarin speaking players fans, so they want
Mm.
to try to interact with them, but their their members which has influence English skills doesn't has time to do it, so they want to try to find people. And also when I joined them, before I joined them, they also gave me some exams like they wanted to know my skills, and
Mm.
they think like maybe so that oh my skill is maybe is appropriate to do these kind of things. So they're like, okay, yeah, you can do it.
I see. So they test your English skills, something like that.
Yeah, I know my English skills is very shitty, but I don't know, like yeah, they just like oh your English skills is good. Okay, but okay. Also, I think my English is shit. Like yeah.
By the way, you mentioned that you attend a lot of indies events in Taiwan. Were
Yeah,
there a lot of events like that in your country?
yeah, quite a lot.
Mm.
Quite a lot. Well, if you are going to say like if I'm going to say like in game industry, for example, it's definitely not more than game industry in America or in Canada
Mm,
because
mm,
their
mm.
population is more higher than us.
Yep.
But as for Taiwan, indie games industry, like everyone is very close because
Mm,
we we have less few resources to make games at the very beginning.
mm,
So um the members who are in the game industry, they are very close, they will help each other, so that's why there are lots of you can have lots of events to attend, and you can um have a many communication, even like very big companies. You can have to
mm.
you can communicate with all these people. Yeah.
I see. I see. I think that's really helpful for like anyone who wants to try to understand to know with the people in the game industry. If there's a event that you can come in, you can connect and you network, and yes, so you know that this company is opening a job position and I can apply for that. Yeah, that's a good things that happen in your country, I think.
Yeah, I think I don't know others country situation, but if you want to go into a game industry and you don't know how to get into it, I think attend this kind of game industry is really helpful. Although I'm not I'm not I don't know how helpful it is, but it's definitely helpful. Yeah.
Yep, yep, yep. And your first job at Sigono, am I correct? Yeah. The
Yeah,
first
correct.
job as a customer service and community, like talking with the community. Is it something that uh, your previous education help you do this, or this is something that you need to learn from scratch? What is this thing, and how can I doing these things?
Oh well, I think well, first of all, well, so my English speaking is very bad, but actually I have some English skills, and so I think it's very helpful. And also, wait a second. Sorry, could you ask again?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So,
um,
what you do as a your first job in Sigono, like as a customer service, like this is something that easy for you to learn to adapt, or like you need like extra time to learn. This is how to talk with the customer. This is how to engage with gamers, something like that.
okay. So I well, I'm a gamer, so
Mm,
I actually can know what other gamers are talking about. So I think it's very easy for me to communicate with these gamers.
mm,
But as for analyzing, like marketing analyzing, just I say that I am now doing it every day.
mm,
This is the skills that learned when I was in Sigono. And it's a little bit hard because, well, my major is English and not marketing.
Ah,
So yeah, it's yeah, I just learned it. I just use sometimes to learn it. Yeah.
I see, I see. Was it hard? I mean, like, to be like the front facing of the company or the title of the games and answering all of the comment from the players, the users. I mean, did you ever find some harsh comment that make you like what or something like that?
Oh yeah. Well, like some people will like asking you some very sensitive questions, and
Mm,
you're like, oh, how to, you need to know how to deal with it. And I think the
mm.
most ridiculous things I watched it before is like I also need to read all the Google review of our game because Igono has put their games on Google and Apple. And
Ah,
one of the and one of the review in Google is very ridiculous because the content he wrote is like he's scolding to other players who rated us 1 stars. He's like, oh, you can't rate this game 1 star because you think that this game is not free.
ah,
Yeah, so he was very angry about it, and let people who rated 1 star because the game is not free, and he saw the game was really good, but
ah.
you know he rated as 1 star too.
I see. Oh, so the first company that you work is a mobile company, mobile games company.
No, not quite.
Ah,
They just only put their games um on phone, yeah,
I see.
but they
I see.
also put their games on Steam. But
Mm,
as they're very like, as the beginning, there are two games at the very beginning. They have better sales on phone platform,
mm,
but their recent games that I said Song of Stars. Yeah, their recent Opus game they are now focused on Steam platform and Switch
ah.
platforms. Yeah, yeah.
I see, I see. From your experience on this role in the game industry to as a customer service and managing the community, if anyone here they are interested to uh, to be like you in that position, what do you think the most important skill that they need to learn or prepare before applying for that job?
Um, well, in as for community side, I think you need to be first of all you be patience because
Mm,
some of people you might think they are very rude, but sometimes they are not rude. They are just don't know how to talk to you. And
ah,
if you like reply them in a very bad way, uh, not only they will like don't like your game, but also it will cause um some news like oh this company treat their players bad or something like that.
mm,
Yeah, you need to patient, and also you need to have a skills like if someone asks you some very sensitive question, you need to think how to reply them because like you can't like directly say no or I can't tell you.
yeah,
You need to package your word in a very good way and
yep,
reply them. Yeah, that is a very important skill that you need to learn. And as for marketing side, I think first of all, you really need to know some of the marketing skills. Like for example, well, I'm more focused on social media, so I will like well the basic skills is like you need to know what is your target audience of this game, and you need to know how to buy ads for these target audience, and
I see.
also like for example if you don't have money to buy ad, how to use some strategies like your content and your word and even hashtags, how to write your hashtags to like gain you more target audience. And also each different social media's platform has different method to gain your followers, so you also really need to know all of them well.
I see. I see. Yeah, that's both combine. Is that the role that you work on on Sigono required you to be able to have those two capabilities, one in the communication side and one in the marketing side, or this is something that good to have? I mean, if different role, if you want to be a customer service or community manager, this is you need to have a good communication skill, and there's other role, marketing, different role that you need to have marketing skill. Is that the same role with two skill set, or that's a two different kind of role?
I think it is depends on your position and your details of your position, because different companies has different
Yeah,
different thing that they wanted you
I
to
see.
do. Like for example, if you are in a small indie game studio, you need to do not only community, you need to do marketing and you need to do all of the things. But as for a very very big company, they maybe want to have you have a skills that only one skill, but your only skill needs to be very very professional. Yeah. So
I
I
see.
also, yeah. So like I remember I have I I know that some of the companies they separate community and marketing like into different positions. But as for community manager, well, first of all, community manager you definitely not you can't only know how to communicate with your fans. You also need to know all the social medias things, because I think most of the community manager need to do social medias.
Mm,
And also, I think some of the big companies they will maybe like trying to host some offline events,
mm,
or yeah. They is another kind of profession. So if you are in a big company and they very focused on offline events, that is also a skill. Yeah.
I see. I see. Yeah. So that this is gonna open opportunities to a lot of people with different skill set to join the game industry. So for everyone listening to this podcast, if you're not taking major education in game programming or like game artist, there's still a lot of role that you can uh, choose to jump into the game industry that you mentioned before. Uh, by the way, Yun, after Sigono, you work as a customer service and community manager. Then you, what next? You went to Neon Doctrine, or you jump into another company before?
So after the part-time intern in Sigono, I went to another indie game studio in
Mhm.
Taiwan. But well, I just stayed there in a very short time, and
Ah,
then Neon Doctrine has a new opportunity, and I think like, oh, maybe I can challenge myself. So I'm now here.
I see. Do you
Yeah.
find any difference between your times as a community manager before and today in Doctrine in your role, or is the same?
You mean in game publisher and game industry, the difference? Sorry, a games indie game studio and game publisher.
Yes, before you become community manager for studio rights for a game studio, now for a game publisher. What's the difference between managing
Yeah.
the community for developers and for publishers?
Um. Okay. So actually, they are similar, but as for
Ah,
publisher, you need to know all the games that you are going to publish. You need to know
and
well.
that's a lot.
Like yeah, like indie game, like for your studio, you only need to know one game, so you have enough time to like prepare all the plans and what you're going to do. You have enough time to do many details, but
Mm,
as for game publisher, well, at least in Neon Doctrine, because sometimes we need to launch many games in a short time, so you really need to schedule well, like when are you going to promote this game, when you're going
Mm,
to promote this game, and you also need to know your target audience well, because sometimes different game type has different target audience, and you need to try which is your target audience. At least it needs to spend a lot of time on it. Yeah.
I see. Yun, how many games is being published by Neon Doctrine right now?
You mean also adding before I joined the game started like
Yes, all of
no
the
no.
titles. Do you know how many
I don't
roughly?
know because there are tons of them. Wait a
10,
second. I need to
20,
check.
30, 50, 100?
Wait a second. I need to check our check our Discord because we have all of the channel.
Yeah. The fact that you need to check it, that means a lot to manage it.
Yeah, it's there are tons of them because they like because they are like 8 years.
All
So
right.
yeah, like 20 or 30. I think like 20 or 30. Wait a second.
Oh my
One,
gosh.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 30, 20. I think nah, I think 20 to 30. Yeah.
Wow. And you manage the communities, all of them.
Oh no, like well, as for indie games, like if you're not an online game, you're just like you're also a small game, you just
Hmm.
only need to promote the game like before they release and after they release, and
Hmm.
then after that, like sometimes you have some sales, you just need to promote them when they are in sales. Yeah, so like after they has launched it, and like for uh for a time, and later you need to move on to another new game.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. But isn't all the all of the communities that playing that game still I don't know, maybe have a discussion or maybe ask about some features, something like that. Do they do that to all the older titles, for example?
um you mean other game publishers?
No, no, on non doctrine, like on your daily job, do you also need to reply all of the comments from people who play the game that released maybe year ago or 2 years ago? Is there something that you need to handle too?
Yeah, like for example, recently there's a player asking me about a game that has been released like many years ago, and I didn't know what he's talking about. So I yeah, so I need to ask my yeah, ask other people.
I see, I see, I see. All
Yeah.
right, I think this is quite interesting because as a publisher, you manage different kind of games with different target market. I assume like maybe some game is for the specific niche. Like some of your games are so like it's more like in dark theme, horror theme, and maybe some other is different. Did you join all of the players into like one marketing strategy? This is how Neon Doctrine talk and position ourselves, or each game is need to be tinkered like specifically for like for example, this game is for the horror market, so this is how we communicate, and the other game is more like for like I don't know, maybe RPG or like something dating games, and it's different strategy. Did you manage to create specific marketing strategy for every games, or you talk in like this is non doctrine and this is all of our games?
I think well, in my situation, I think all of the game has a main strategy. Like you need to uh, promote it on Twitter and promote it on other social medias. But depends on different genres of the game. You need to fix some of the little details of them. For
Mm-hmm.
example, we recently released a game called The Legend of Tianting,
Mm-hmm.
and it is a beaten up game. It's an action game. So where we just held a speed run event because this kind of game sometimes speedrunners maybe want to challenge them. So we will hold this kind of event. But as for horror game, as for Simulacra 3,
Mm-hmm.
well, also we can do some speed run for this kind of game because this speed run can you can play a lot of speed run like yeah. But I think the target audience won't like doing speed run on Simulacra 3.
Mm.
So you still need to like holding different events. Like for example, I recently held an event that is a fan art event, and I will ask players to draw the characters in the game, or yeah, because Simulacra 3 haven't been released, so I will like give them a character introduction and let them to imagine uh, what the character will be look like and ask them to draw it out. Yeah, yeah.
I see. I see. That's interesting. So you need to be creative, right? To design. Oh, we will publish this kind of game, and what kind of events fit this genre and target market.
Yeah, sometimes you need to be creative, not only this kind of event, but also like doing some social media posts. Like for example,
Mm.
I was starting to do create TikTok video, and I saw that TikTok videos really need to have some creativity. And yeah, I'm still struggle with it. So yeah, it's really needs some creativity in doing this community and marketing things.
I see. This is really interesting because usually in these developers doing marketing on Twitter, right? Like screenshot Saturday and something like that. They having presence in Twitter. And now you mentioned TikTok. What do you think about TikTok as a platform to engage with the community? Is there a lot of gamers in TikTok, or the same with Twitter, or Twitter still better than any other platform?
Well, TikTok is a new platform. Um, well, it now the big advantage in doing promotion in TikTok is you can get a lot of view in
Mm.
TikTok because like you have one post and maybe you can if you have a right target audience you can have receive or and right creativity you can have received like millions views just only one post. So I think people can starting to notice the social media. Yeah, because it's very good as for a viewer result, and also there are lots of people doing marketing in game industry also started to recommend everyone to post TikTok posts in
Mm.
TikTok. Yeah, and they also show a lot of very great result in TikTok, like when they post one of their game introduction and their wish list, Steam wish list in Steam, like they are rise very quickly. Yeah, but
From
also
TikTok.
I'm sorry.
From TikTok.
Yeah, from TikTok.
Oh, I see.
They have a very high. They rise very quickly in their Steam wish list after they post their game introduction or game things in TikTok. But the other thing, I'm not concerned, but I don't think I'm not sure it is right or wrong. I'm just concerned about this, like because most of the TikTok user are very young. In my
Mm.
yeah, so I am not sure if they really will buy your game because most of we're not promoting free games, so I'm not sure if they really will buy your game. But yeah. But I think it is we just need to wait because I believe that there will be more user join TikTok and their ages will be higher. So yeah, it's still I think people still need to can still have a try. And as for Twitter, um I think Twitter still can gain some of the still can gain new people in, yeah, get new player, but I think because like but you need to find the right time and right hashtag. For example, if you kept doing posting your tweet in screenshot Saturday,
Mm.
there are too many people now posting screenshot Saturday. So um although your content is really really good, like you have a very good art that maybe everyone like it, it will be very hard to uh like fight and win in screenshot Saturday's hashtag.
Yeah.
So you still need to, yeah, find a right hashtag, right audience, right timing. I think it will still can get some players.
I see. I see. Yeah, I think the hashtag for screenshot Saturday is really, really saturated, right? There's a lot of developers doing that, and I'm interested to understand. Hmm?
Sorry, there's another thing. But I think that this is an opinion. I'm not sure if
Mm.
it's right or wrong, but I think posts things on Screenshot Saturday or some hashtag in Twitter is also have another benefit. That is not gaining players. It's like let some publisher to see you.
Uh,
Yeah, because I think that there are some publisher or some people will started to find some gems in this
mm,
kind of hashtag like every week. So if you want to get more this kind of attraction, I think you can do it. Yeah, yeah.
I see. I see. Yeah, it's still nice to do. I think something that as a developers, something that you can keep posting on. But as you mentioned, you need to also be creative to find another hashtag, another kind of content to engage with people in different way. So that doesn't mean that you need to stop sharing your screenshot on Saturday, but you need to add more like different kind of hashtag, different kind of type of post to engage with the communities. And I also interested to know to understand like what is the process for you to, I don't know, maybe validate hashtag, is it gonna work or not, or do you what is the process for you to research the hashtag that it will use in our post?
Okay, so well, in Tik, I think as for hashtag, I will be more focused on Twitter because Twitter really sometimes really can some people really will search hashtag in Twitter.
Mm,
So I think it's very important. I think important like doing hashtag research in Twitter, and there are some tools like in webs. It's like uh wait a second. Yeah, I sorry I forgot the name, but there are
mm,
some
mm.
tools in the website. You can Google them. Like you can Google like Twitter hashtag research, and I think there are tons of website. And maybe some people will recommend you which site is better. And in this site, like you can like search hashtag. For example, you can first search indie games, and they will tell you that, oh, this hashtag has how many views, how many people will search this hashtag, how many people will click this hashtag, and you need to analyze it. Like for example, if there are too many people will watch this hashtag, you need
Mm.
to consider that maybe your tweet will not be seen because there are too many.
I
So
see.
but if the hashtag there are there are only few people will watch this hashtag is so not great. So you need to like try to find an average hashtag and also the correct hashtag. Like you can like hashtag indie games but you post cat and dogs or something like that.
Mm, mm.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I will. analyze this kind of
I
things.
see.
Yeah.
There's already tools for you to help the reach of certain hashtag, right? That's really helpful. By the way, this is a random question, so just for your I want to know your opinion. There's some people's in when they're doing marketing to have more visibility that usually joining a thread, like there's a viral tweet with a lot of traction, and then
Mhm.
on reply someone advertised their products, so it's not related at all with the topic in the thread of the Twitter, but they just put themselves like, hey, I don't know, maybe this thread is nice, don't forget to check my game. What do you think about someone who do some kind of, I don't know, aggressive marketing, or like doing like that on Twitter or social media?
Oh, okay. Well,
I'm not sure it's a spam or not, but what do you think?
well, well. To be honest, I haven't met this kind of situation before, but I
Uh,
think because I had read some Thailand Twitter trend Twitter before, and I
uh,
really I saw that there are lots of PR in there, so
yep.
I can understand what I can understand that. I think it's I think maybe let people who made this kind of situation more they have more appropriate answers. Yeah, because different region, different countries has different different habitat in
Mm.
social medias. Like in Taiwan or like worldwide, at least I haven't seen this kind of situation before. But
Ah,
yeah, but I know that like East Asia, like Thailand, they really has lots of PR in the trend tweet, and
yep.
I'm like, oh wow, yeah. But I think I think the reason I think the reason why they do this and they keep doing this is because it works. So that's why they keep
Mm.
doing this. So although sometimes it's very annoying, I think I might imagine, but I think because it works, so they keep doing it. But if you really want to do the same thing, I don't have an answer. I'm sorry.
Yeah, because it's quite funny sometimes when I saw a lot of, sometimes a very viral Twitter, and then on the reply, the ads from people who reply is not
Yeah.
related with the thread, but yeah,
Yeah, I
they're
have seen
trying. Yeah.
a lot of product in that Thailand tweet, and I'm like, oh wow, so you all usually like put all the product in there. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah, that's
interesting.
interesting. Yeah. By the way, as a community manager, are you also do like scouting if there's any game that you think is fit with Neon Doctrine as a publisher? Do you also scout games and approach them, or there's different kind of division?
Oh, that is my I didn't do that. I don't do that.
Ah,
That is Vlad. Vlad do, but I think Vlad down that. Yeah, and
I
my
see. I see.
other bosses. Yeah.
Right, right. Um, wow. I think we almost over time for our discussion. I think it's really nice
Yeah, I'm sorry.
discussion.
Like my English is not that great.
Yeah, yeah. I still have a lot of question that I want to ask, but I think the time is quite short now. So for closings, Yun, can you give maybe your tips to all of the listener uh, who wants to work in the game industry, especially to be like you, to become the community manager? Do you have a tips for them how to start and what they need to prepare?
Hmm. Well, I think as for communities and marketing, as for a community manager, I think first of all in indie game, uh, you need to at least know what uh at least know some English skills. That is very
Mm,
important because well, you need to sell your game worldwide, so you really need to know some other language. Like I know some English and also know some Japanese and
ah,
my mother tongue. Yeah, so I think learning language is very is good for you as a community as you doing communities, and also not only just learn the language, is also need to learn their slangs, their environment, because I think different language has their different cultures, and so you need to learn those culture well. Because if you only know the language and know how to talk in textbooks, it will be really hard to sell games because people will like, oh, you don't know our culture it is, and I
I
really
see.
don't think this your game is very attractive. Yeah, I think it's a very the two part, and also yeah, you need to be patient. You need to have a very good communication skills because I have saw lots of news that is some people can communicate well with their fans, and there are a lot of problems. So I think yeah, you need to be very patient. You need to know how to package your word. Yeah.
I see, I see. I think that's really interesting. So for everyone who wants to be a community manager, that's language and communication. It's two things that you can prepare to be a good community manager and help the games that you're working with become more successful and all the gamers who play the games happy. All right, Yun, thank you so much for sharing your story and knowledge. Really happy to have you here.
Me too.
All right, so everyone, I think that's it for today. I hope this session, all of the stories, experience, and tips from Yun can give you insight and courage to press start your career in the game industry as a game developers. I am Adam Ardisasmita. Keep playing games, start making games. Thank you, everybody. Bye bye.
Bye.